Приємно вас всіх бачити на презентації FAU. Перед початком презентації нагадую, що ваші питання пишіть, будь ласка, в чат. На всі питання дадуть відповідь після завершення презентації. Також, якщо хочете поспілкуватися наживо, теж про це пишіть, і ми вас під'єднаємо. І я передаю слово нашим презенторам. So you can start. Good luck to you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our presentation of Friedrich-Alexander-University Erlangen-Nürnberg. Pretty long, pretty German-sounding name. It's due to two different founding fathers and the university located in two cities. My name is Patrick Stör. I'm working at the Faculty of Sciences, coordinating international affairs there. I'm here today with my colleague Christine Moore, who is working at our Faculty of Engineering, and our colleague, or my colleague, Elisabeth Grosso, who is working in our Central Study Advice Center. Yeah, let's get started with a little impression of Erlangen, like the main city of our university. Here you can see the main administrative building of the university. The university is, let's say, mid-aged for a German university, was founded in 1743, and is currently one of the largest research universities in, well, maybe not in Europe, but definitely in Germany, and especially here in Bavaria and southern Germany, and is a pioneer in innovative research, which is kind of, manifested by very great or very good ranking results in innovation rankings. For example, we were ranked the Germany's most innovative university by the Reuters Innovation Ranking, and also the most innovative university in a subcategory of the Times Higher Education Ranking. So innovation, a big thing here, and one of our key values. I already mentioned, okay, FAU is located in northern Bavaria. Somehow you could say it's located in the heart of Europe, here quite in the middle. If we do this presentation for students from overseas, we have to go into a little bit more detail, but I guess for students from Ukraine, you are more or less familiar with Europe's geography, and that we are close to a lot of places such as I don't know, Munich, Berlin, etc. Everything is not too far. And as said, the FAU, our university, is located in two different cities. Like most of the faculties are in Erlangen, while for historical reasons, the Center of Teacher Education and the School of Business and Economics and Society is in Nürnberg. Nürnberg or Erlangen being a city of 120,000 inhabitants. It's a typical German student city. It was voted or ranked the safest city in Germany last year. So it's a pretty nice place to live. A lot of cultural activities, a lot of, let's say, student-friendly activities, close to nature. You see all the green here in the back, and there's some a hilly landscape around it, very nice for hikes and other activities. Nürnberg being a metropolitan city, around 550 to 600,000 inhabitants. And it is what a major European city is now at the moment. It has had a lot of historical significance in Germany's history, especially during the Middle Ages, then again during darker periods in contemporary history, and it's a major European city. You can imagine what it looks like, which chain stores you'll find, and that there is some interesting nightlife, some interesting subcultural life, whatever you're interested in. But let's get back to us as a university. As said, we're a pretty large university with around 40,000 students, around let's say 15% international students, and I said we are a research university, so we have a lot of professors and a lot of scientific staff who are conducting research and teaching at our university. And yeah, so let's get a little bit deeper into which degree programs we offer. I'm going to start with the Faculty of Sciences because that's the faculty I'm working for, and I'm mostly concentrating on our English taught master programs. Of course, we also offer bachelor programs in German of all the basic sciences you'll know from school, from chemistry to physics, biology, mathematics, geosciences, etc. So here's a short list of the master programs we offer in English. Okay, so I have to navigate here. I'm not familiar with the setup. We have, as said, with two chemistry-based or two molecule-based programs, basically offered by the Department of Chemistry. One a classical chemistry program, the other one molecular life science program, which focuses on drug discovery, or molecular nanoscience if you choose the other specialization, which is more into the applied direction, focusing more on let's say material sciences. Then we have a biology-based program or biophysics-based program called Integrated Life Science, which is at the intersection of molecular biology, biophysics, still pretty new field, I think, of systems biology, and which has kind of a quantitative approach to biological phenomena. So bioinformatics, biomathematics play a big role here. Come on. Yeah, a pretty new program is data science at the intersection of statistics, informatics, mathematics. Of course, artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc., play a big role here. It's also kind of application oriented, you could say, as you have application subjects. Then you have computational applied mathematics, which is a lot about simulation and optimization, which is a big topic here in Erlangen. You have a master in physics. Erlangen is currently developing into the Bavarian hub of quantum technologies, quantum physics. We have a Center for Astroparticle Physics, and we have a Max Planck Center, which is a Max Planck Institute, which is a extra university research institute here in Germany, quite popular. You could probably compare it to an Academy of Sciences, which is working on the physics of light. So also like quantum related, optics related, and we have a Max Planck Center for physics and life science, so medical physics. Then there are also like geo-based programs, one in paleobiology, which is a very research-oriented degree program. The same applies to our master in physical geography and climate and environmental sciences, as well as, which is not geo-based, but biology-based, the integrated immunology degree program, which was awarded elite status by our ministry and which provides a comprehensive education in the field of immunology, somewhere between the lab part, biology, and the medical part. Okay, and I think that's already the point where I pass the word on to my. Okay, no, sorry, I'm usually not giving this presentation. Usually, it's my colleague Paulina who's doing that. Some extracurricular activities. I already mentioned that. Innovation is a big thing here at FAU, and that's why we try to get our students in touch with startup culture, in touch with new methods, how to get their idea or their research or into a program. So we want to introduce you to entrepreneurship, to startup, to really applying or making your idea into a product, starting your own companies, etc. And therefore, we have a digital tech fellows program. We have different workshop series for our students, and of course, we also participate in a lot of different student competitions. For example, the iGEM for biology students, the FAU Moon for the Model United Nations, the Formula Student, which is kind of a race league for students where you build a race car. RoboCup, it's a cup of robots playing football, etc. Exactly. And but I guess now is really the time for me to pass on the word to my colleague Christine.
Thank you, Patrick, and hello from my side. My name is Christine Moore from the Faculty of Engineering, and as you can see here, we offer a lot of interesting bachelor's and master's programs. These programs are all in German. Most of them, especially the bachelor's, are in German. Here you have an overview over them. For example, programs in chemical engineering or electrical or mechanical engineering. The requirements for those are an acknowledged high school diploma and German language knowledge of level DSH2. If you don't have this DSH2, you will need at least level A2, because we offer 1 or 2 semesters of German studies leading to the DSH test before your study program. In case of master's programs, you will additionally need a good pre-knowledge from your bachelor's in the respective topic. So next slide, please, Patrick. I would like to draw your attention on various programs taught in English, which you can see here. You will not need German language knowledge for application, but you will need English of at least level B2. You can choose programs of the area of chemical and biological engineering, biotechnology or optics, computer science and medical engineering, artificial intelligence, electrical engineering with information and communication technology, and autonomy technologies, material science, nanotechnology, and of course, electromobility. Let me introduce some of our English taught programs to you. So in the next slide, we can see the first one. It's clean energy processes, an interdisciplinary program combining technical and socio-economic aspects with research in hydrogen and chemical production. Germany is leading in the process of energy transition and has committed itself to use only clean energy for energy generation. Innovations in the field of photovoltaics, wind energy, and hydrogen stem from German researchers. With clean energy processes, you will receive a very profound engineering education, precisely built for the challenges of our time regarding the climate crisis. You will have a lot of different job prospects, for example, in energy production, consulting, and policy, or sustainable chemical and bioindustry. The bachelor's application for winter term 2025-26 for international students is possible until July 5th, and the master's application for the winter term is possible until May 31st, so you still have time for this. I'm not sure if the next slide is in, so we have, just one moment, there's medical engineering, yes. This is an interdisciplinary program and combines electrical, mechanical, materials engineering, and computer science for medical applications. For example, prosthesis, robotics for treatment and care, or wearables for health and sports. You can choose out of several areas of specialization, like medical image and data processing or medical robotics. Medical engineering is one of FAU's main research areas, and in collaboration with our university hospital, you can dive into hands-on projects and get plenty of opportunities for fascinating PhD projects. As FAU is located in the Medical Valley of Germany, you are offered great job opportunities in the area of medical engineering. The bachelor's program is in German, the master's in English or German. It depends on the specialization. The next interesting program is autonomy technologies. It offers a unique combination of electrical engineering and computer science. During the program, you may specialize in one or two areas from the following four possibilities: human system interfaces, networking and collaboration, planning and control, sensing and perception. As you all know, the field of autonomy technology is rapidly growing, and the market needs engineers prepared to face the challenges and to draw on the potential of this future field. Job opportunities await our graduates in the fields of automotive, automation and robotics, communication services, industrial services, and many more. Very interesting for is as well the artificial intelligence program of the Faculty of Engineering. Next slide, please. Yeah, it combines a broad fundamental-oriented basic knowledge with a professional qualification and provides you with initial knowledge of scientific methodology and practice. The basic knowledge and methods acquired in the first semesters are applied in the further course of the degree program and are deepened in the areas of data analysis, signal processing, biomedical sciences, and image processing. As a student, you supplement and deepen your specialist knowledge in elective modules. At the end of your studies, you will know and understand the fundamentals of engineering sciences, in particular mathematics and computer science, with an initial specialization in artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. Oh, there's a slide missing. Okay, so just these three programs: autonomy technologies, clean energy processes, and the last one, artificial intelligence. They are also available in English at the bachelor's level. Maybe this would be interesting for you when you would like to start your studies at FAU and would like to study in English. So I don't know of so far from the Faculty of Engineering, and I'm not sure if Eva is not...
I can continue. I'm very sorry. I had deeply technical problems, but it works now. So I had to switch my web browser, and now I'm here. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody. I'm glad to be here. Patrick mentioned the city of Nürnberg before in his presentation, and this is where our school is based. And I will tell you a little bit about our English spoken programs. We have 2 on the bachelor's level and 3 to 4 in the master's level. So the bachelor's level is international economic studies, international business studies. One is more business management, it's international business studies, and the economics is economic studies. So you can work in supranational organizations, for example, and the management bachelor, of course, is can work in international companies, and both of them are a good background if you want to continue your master studies with us. And we have some very interesting master programs. So Patrick, would you be so kind to go to the next slide? Thank you very much. We have the Master International Business Studies. It's a selective program. This means we have only about 50 people who study those programs. The same is for the bachelors as well. So in the International Business Bachelor, we have 70 people. In International Economics, we have about around 50 people studying the program right now. And the program has a very diverse student body, so everybody from all over the world is studying with us, from Europe and far more abroad. And the Master in International Information Systems is information technology, and it's about the role of today's business environment, and it's also very interesting in our nowadays. And it includes courses in management and also information systems, database, and so on, and software engineering, of course. And moreover, we have the Masters in Economics, and it has different specializations. For example, labor economics, macroeconomics, finance, public economics, energy markets, and health economics as well. And it is also a very small master's program. and as independent, very on research. And many of the graduates do their PhD with us after finishing their masters. And well, this is already it from my school. And if you have any further questions, I will be here for the rest of the session. Thank you.
So I take over the next part. Thank you, Eva. Some more words on FAU's research partners. As you can see here, our professors and chairs at the FAU have a lot of well-known partners in industry. There are partners from the car industry like BMW or Daimler, for example, or companies who are located nearby in our metropolitan region, Schaeffler, Adidas, or Siemens directly in Erlangen. Or you can see partners in the IT sector, or big ones in pharmacy or chemistry like BASF. This makes it possible to come into contact with these large companies during or after your studies, do internships, and possibly get a job there. On the next slide, you can see that we are very proud of being the top first innovator in Germany. Patrick, would you like to pause one slide further? Thank you. Here you have several rankings. So in the section of innovation, it is FAU is #1 in Germany and number 14 throughout the world. Additionally, the university occupies top positions in various renowned national and international rankings as a university as a whole and with various subjects. For example, in the Shanghai ranking 2024, we are one of the best 100 universities in 4 subjects. On the next slide, you can see it's good for you. We offer a career service, and you will see that FAU will support you not only with your studies, but also with your job search at one of the many companies in the metropolitan region or elsewhere. So a good idea to come to FAU. The next slide shows some international profile and services. FAU is really international. We have around 7,500 international students and numerous professors and scientists from all over the world. We offer welcome events and a buddy program for international students and staff. Moreover, it is particularly attractive for students that FAU does not charge tuition fees and offers many activities such as language courses, robotics clubs, labs, and more for free. And you see the picture with the hearts? Do not miss Erlangen's big fair around Whitsun, the Bergkirchweih. For the application to FAU, in order to join all these offers, you will have to apply around January for the winter semester and around July for the summer semester in case of applications for a bachelor's program. The deadlines for the master's programs differ a little. Therefore, inform on the websites of your desired program and start your application. So then, now I hope that we have aroused your curiosity and we look forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, we already got the first questions. I don't personally know how to okay. Yeah, okay. That's how it works. Okay. Who wants to start with answering the questions? Okay, so maybe I take this question. Well, there's no, let's say, no automatical support process, but if you have any questions regarding the job hunting visa or the blue card or the job hunting residence permit, you have the possibility to just ask the general, to use the general consultation of our international office, and they can give you advice on these questions. But to be honest, it's a pretty straightforward process. So if you've spent 2 years studying in Germany, I guess you won't face any difficulties. It's just like you provide the documents they have on the list, you get the residence permit. It's not overly complicated. So let's see if we can. Okay. Okay, next question. Hey, this is a pretty specific visa question. To be honest, I'm not super familiar with the regulations for Ukrainian students, as they hardly pass through my office. But if you relocate for study purposes, I assume that you will need a study visa. If
Yes,
you would usually need a study visa.
if you got your admission letter, you can apply for a study visa, and then you can enter Germany and you can apply for a residence permit for a study purpose.
And you will probably then have to apply to the German embassy in Warsaw. That is what I would say. Okay, what faculty will be the most interesting for space aero engineering? Christine?
We do not have the program Space Aero Engineering, but of course we have programs which are around this. So maybe the chemical engineering. This is a kind of Verfahrenstechnik in German, but processing technology. Yes,
processing engineering. Yeah,
engineering. Processing engineering, and maybe it's always also maybe it might be a good idea to take computer science or computational engineering, which is a combined program with computer science and mathematics and special engineering program, mechanical engineering. But the real space engineering we do not offer.
I mean, we offer a specialization in astrophysics, but that is not really related to space or aero engineering. We are planning our budget based on 934 euro per month, but would like to know what hidden or unexpected expenses should be considered during the first weeks. Well, housing deposit, you also already mentioned that. That is definitely the case. So usually you pay two net rents, 2 or 3 net rents for deposit. So this is pretty common. Apart from that, of course, in the beginning, you might need to buy furniture. You might need to buy, some things you can't bring from home. Documents should already be translated by then, as you are already enrolled. I don't know if my colleagues can add something.
For the financing, you will need nearly 1,000 euro for the blocked account, because you will not get the residence before the finances are okay. So you can take a scholarship or a blocked account, or your parents or somebody else can take a Bürgschaft, was heißt this? Can say that they would finance you in case of...
That is not possible anymore. You need someone who lives in Germany to do that for you.
In Germany, okay. So,
yeah. And it's indeed, I think 934 euro is not the current amount anymore, or?
It's 992.
Yeah.
Is the new amount for the residents?
992 euro at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. I'm currently studying in the second year at Kiev, major economics. Maybe that's a question for Elisabeth, as it also concerns, let's say, general admission requirements for Ukrainian students.
Okay. If you have a secondary school leaving certificate from Ukraine that do not entitle to study at a German university, that means you need at least one successful study year in the Ukraine to get a so-called subject-specific entrance qualification for German universities. You can apply for the first semester. You must know that the bachelor degree program, our international bachelor degree programs at our faculty of business are with a local admission restriction, and we have only few places for international students. And if you get admission, you can apply for credit transfer. I don't know if it's possible to apply directly for a higher entrance semester. That is a question for Eva. I don't know.
Maybe, but actually it's hard to answer.
I would generally recommend to apply as a first year student, and then afterwards you can still get it recognized, right? So I think there's nothing lost there. But it's also
Does it refer to bachelor? Maybe it refers to bachelor, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes it's possible to transfer it, but I think that will be clarified when you start to study. So you have to start in the first semester, and then maybe it's possible to get some credits for courses you've already done. I guess that's the correct way to go. Yeah, pretty sure. So you start in the first semester, and then you get the reward for the thing you've already done, and you get the credits, and you don't have to write the exam again in with us. So do you get it? Was it clear? I hope so.
Yes, we offer preparatory language courses for all our international students, not only for Ukrainians. And the prerequisites are that you need at least German language knowledge on A2 level, and you must submit an A2 level certificate to get admission to one of our language courses. And they are offered in summer and also in winter semester.
I appreciate the support FAU offers to international students, particularly the buddy program and the orientation weeks. Does FAU organize a central orientation period before the start of studies, during which students can open a bank account, get a mobile SIM card, register in the city, obtain a student ID and transport pass? We offer a welcome week, and part of these things are definitely explained there, but it's not that someone would take you by the hand and take you to a mobile phone shop and buy the SIM card with you. So there'll definitely be explanations for all these topics, but you still have to do it on your own. And transport pass, etc., is all obtained digitally, but it will also be explained in the welcome week. Christine, maybe one for you. I am reading it out. Does the university cooperate with regional companies where Ukrainian students can complete internships? Is practical training internship mandatory in engineering programs at FAU, and how is it structured?
Yes, it will be possible to make internship in companies around. The practical training, the internship is in some programs it's mandatory, but not in all programs. So it depends on the program which you have, and there's an own office for the internships within the different programs, and you can get information there as well. So I don't know the real structure, but normally they have an internship office, the programs. And in your study program, in the study program, you will know whether the internship is mandatory, or if you also can do an internship on your own base without being mandatory. This will be possible as well.
Hey, can someone put our contacts into the chat while I'm working on the questions?
Chat. Wo geht es jetzt wieder?
Are there partner companies that frequently hire FAU engineering graduates? I think this is a very generic question, and I think, of course, there are. If you have a contact into a company, if you did an internship at a company, this of course increases your chances of being hired there. And of course, regional companies are more likely to have good connections with FAU, and they are more likely to hire FAU graduates. That would be my answer to that. But to be honest, I think this is almost true for every German university. So it's a very generic answer as well. Okay. Does the university support graduates in finding their first job after graduation? Christine, you introduced the career service, or maybe Elisabeth, you can say a few more words on it.
FAU has a career service, and they offer many opportunities. You can go there for how to prepare your application for a job, and they offer seminars for students at the end of their studies. So there are a lot of different possibilities.
Okay. To what extent are programs practice-oriented? Do they include internships or work on real business cases? To be honest, we are a full university, so it's very hard to answer these generic questions, as we offer everything from, I don't know, archaeology to sociology to engineering subjects, science subjects. If I see real business cases, it's probably a question from an economics background. So maybe Eva can help us with that. Eva, you're muted.
Yeah, I recognize. Thank you. Hopefully, I can help you. Yes, there are some programs. We have people, maybe alumni, who come to us and give speeches and tell our students about the work in business. And we also have an own career service at our school, and they offer also seminars. And there are I don't know, there is a week where you do studies, and you work on like a business game. You start our study with a business game, and there's one in, I think, the 5th semester in a bachelor's program. And you have already also the possibility to do an internship on your own. It's not mandatory, but you can also integrate it into your study. You can have a holiday for one semester, but it's actually not really integrated into the study plan. But there's also always is the chance to do an internship, and you can also have there's how can I say that you can work as a student and with a professor, and we already have many students work at the university, and you can have a practical background and learn. I hope you get what I wanted to say. There are many ways, and if you start to study with us, you will see how you can get practical experiences.
And the next one for you, Eva.
It's also very hard to answer. The employment prospects are very good because in our metropolitan region we have very many international companies. For example, we have Adidas, we have Siemens, and so on. And many of our graduates work at these companies already also with a bachelor's degree, and it's not necessary to do the masters. Of course, you can do the masters, but you have also very good job perspective with only the master's program. And economics are people go to work for supranational institutions, for banks, and so forth. So actually here in our region, you have very good chances to find a good job.
Yeah, and generally, if you're an academic in Germany, the job prospects are very well. I studied Middle Eastern politics with a focus on authoritarian rule on the Arab Gulf, and even I have a job now. So the the chances are quite well. But Eva, we stay with you. More of the same.
So there are programs. As I mentioned before, we do have a career service at our school, and there are some programs for bachelor's students to have for part-time jobs and for internships. It's a so-called I can say the German expression. It's called Patenschaftsprogramm, and it's for German and for English-speaking students. So we do have some small programs for on the bachelor's levels. Yeah, but it's
Why the requirements for language knowledge are at least B2 in English for English taught programs and C1 in German for the German ones? Well, I'll give a practical answer to that, as German students automatically reach B2 level with their graduation of high school. So with their university entrance qualification, they usually have B2 level. So, and it's way less complicated then for them to get into the master programs without getting additional formal English education. That is probably the honest and very pragmatic answer to that. Okay, the semester ticket. FAU offers a semester ticket that is valid within specific transportation zones. This is not totally true. If a student lives in Nürnberg but studies in Erlangen, does the ticket cover daily commutes between the cities? When can it be activated, etc.? Elisabeth, can you answer that question, or is it also too specific for you? Otherwise, I'll try.
There is no semester ticket anymore, but you can buy a cheaper ticket for the Deutschland ticket, and this is valid in whole Germany. I think you have to pay 38 euro per month, and then you can use the traffic system in the regional traffic system in Germany.
And you can activate it as soon as you are enrolled. So if you start in winter term from 1st of October, if you start in summer from 1st of April. If the program probably is fully English taught and we would like to start the bachelor studying from the first year after the school in Ukraine, do we need Studienkolleg?
Yes.
Elisabeth, probably also one you can answer.
Yes, you need Studienkolleg, because Studienkolleg is not only for learning German, and so you also need a Studienkolleg if you want to study in English afterwards.
Okay, next question. My son is very interested in AI and bioengineering. We saw that FAU is actively involved in projects with the Max Planck Institute and Fraunhofer Society. Are bachelor students allowed to participate in such research projects, or is access limited to master PhD students? And how can one join such research teams? I'll try to answer that. Well, there is no clear yes or no and no clear way. I mean, as MPI as well as the Fraunhofer offer student assistant positions, student researcher positions, which are available for depending on the project and depending on the task for bachelor as well as master students. If you do your bachelor thesis in a working group that is actively cooperating or is part of the MPI, basically, as MPI professors are also automatically professors at the university, or if your professor is very much affiliated with Fraunhofer, then you might also be able to do your bachelor thesis there. Otherwise, it really depends on what you work on, what you're interested in, and so AI and bioengineering. I don't know if there are any MPI or Fraunhofer projects in these fields. I'm not an engineer, so maybe it could be related to acoustics or so here in Erlangen. Maybe there's also a professor that is cooperating with the Fraunhofer Institute elsewhere. I mean, there are several dozens all around Germany, the same for the Max Planck Institutes. So there's general possibility to get an insight into one of these institutes to work there or to work with people from there. But there is not this one way, or it's not applicable to all fields. That is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, it's something you find out during your studies if that fits in with your study interest at all and everything. Yeah. My daughter is currently in her second year of her bachelor programs in computer science in the Ukrainian University. We're considering a transfer to FAU to continue her studies without interruption. What is the transfer procedure for international students? We more or less already answered that. How is their equivalence determined? I mean, this is basically we have a competence-oriented recognition scheme. So if you learn the same stuff there, you would learn in a module here, then it's recognized. So you definitely need a good description of the respective module you want, or a respective class you want to have recognized, and then it will be checked by the examination committee. And yeah, that's how it works. I mean, you just apply here as a regular student. It's not like there's not really a special way for transfer students to apply. And as said, at least 1 year of successful studies in Ukraine is a precondition anyway. So I would just recommend to apply for the first semester, and then just once you're here, check what can be recognized and what cannot, or what is not considered equivalent to the studies here. This would be my suggestion. Okay. Maybe someone else can take this question. Well, then I'm just answering.
As soon as possible, isn't it? As soon as possible, I just said. Actually, Paulina always says it's tense, right? So I don't know how it is for international students. I think the situation is better than for German, but I don't know, Patrick, maybe because I can only talk for Nürnberg, which is also close to Erlangen, but in Erlangen is smaller. So I don't know.
Oh, there's definitely no guarantee for
No.
housing for international students. So there's a certain quota in the dormitories, but it's impossible to have housing for like 7,000 international students. This is also where you just need to be a little bit, how to say, I'm missing the word now. Yeah, you have to look for housing on your own, basically. You can apply to the dormitories. There are also private dormitories you can apply to, but there's definitely no guarantee. The university is not allowed to provide housing in Germany. That is a legal issue. We are not allowed to spend money on housing, and we are not allowed to earn money from housing, which we would need if we take rent from students. So there is the Studentenwerk, which is a public institution which is taking care of the housing of students, which is offering dormitories. They are private offers. They are, let's say, the churches and different foundations who offer dormitory places, and it's up to the students themselves to apply to the different providers and also to look for housing on the private market. Due to administrative delays in issuing school leaving certificates at Ukrainian universities, I would like to clarify, if the secondary school certificate is not yet issued by the application deadline, does FAU accept apply a provisional certificate or transcript? Elisabeth, I guess that's a question for you.
It's very important that you apply online until the 15th of July or the 15th of January, because after that date, it is not possible to submit an online application. First step, apply online. And as a second step, you should contact our admission office directly and ask there if it's possible to send or submit the missing school leaving certificate after the deadline.
Since our family is not yet certain about a permanent relocation, we are interested in whether FAU offers the option of partial online or hybrid learning and then arriving. If not, is there any possibility to complete specific modules online? FAU is an on-campus university, so we generally expect students to be here. For some modules can be studied online, especially at the Faculty of Engineering. I don't know if Christine can say more about that.
Not really. It depends on the program. And I'm not, I do not know really which program allows it. But the programs more and more say that the students should be on campus.
So yeah, hybrid learning at the moment, not really an option. I've read that students in Germany are allowed to work up to 120 full days or 240 half days. I guess it's 140 and 280 by now. But in practice, how difficult is it to find a job with English only? Is it necessary to inform FAU or the Ausländerbehörde about starting a job? And are there any restrictions regarding the type of employment? You cannot be self-employed, so you can't open your own business. It always depends on your visa status and your residence permit status, but generally for students, you cannot be self-employed. You are allowed to work those 140 or 280 days. With only English, it depends very much on your skill set. There are, of course, possibilities to work remotely, especially if you're from a computer science background. There are a few companies here where the working language is English, so you'll be fine. But also a lot of students who only speak English will work in rather, how to say, jobs that don't require such a high qualification. I don't know, for example, in a restaurant or similar. But I'm talking with international students on a very regular basis, and I know a lot that do not speak German and that found a student job here. So student health insurance, is the student health insurance included in the tuition fees? I can already answer that, no. If not, which specific health insurance provider would you recommend that covers not only general practitioners, but also dental care, diagnostic tests, and emergency service? And can this insurance be arranged from the Ukraine? I would probably get in very much trouble if I recommended you a particular specific health insurance provider. What I can say is that generally German public health insurance covers all or most of these things you are mentioning, at least basic dental care, at least the most necessary diagnostic tests, maybe not every special tests you'd like to have, and also emergency service. So there are a lot of different public health insurance provider. It's also called statutory health insurance. You can also already arrange that from Ukraine. For example, some very common ones are Techniker Krankenkasse, TK, AOK, DAK, Barmer. So there's a huge selection, and you can just they are more or less very similar regarding the price. For student health insurance, it will probably be around 120 euros per month, and yeah, and you can arrange it from Ukraine.
And you must arrange it before you enroll,
Yeah.
because it's prerequisite for enrollment. Without health insurance, you cannot enroll.
Okay, we'll try to get as many questions in as possible. Can international students apply for part-time jobs within the university? Yes, of course you can. There are research assistant jobs, etc. They are usually advertised by the chairs or the departments, and there are also a few student assistant jobs in administration. For them, maybe German is a bit more important than for the research or research or teaching oriented things. But yes, you can apply at the university, and these jobs at the university, at least as a student assistant, do not count toward your 140 days count. But at the same time, you're here to study and you can't work all the time. Then, Eva, for you, how large are classes typically in business and economics programs? Eva, you're muted.
I'm very sorry, but there are people moving in our building right now, and I know I have a microphone on, but sometimes I think you might hear it, so I always mute myself. It depends, as I already mentioned before. Like the whole class start about business, international business studies, about 70 people, and in international economic studies, about 50 people. And it depends which class you are in. Sometimes you do have classes with the other study programs, so you are some sort of mixed, and you have like big lectures. There might be a few hundred people actually, but in the smaller groups, fewer people. So you can orient around between 50 and 70 people. So since most of the lectures are specifically for this study program, you have more smaller classes than larger classes.
Okay. Can I do a duales Studium in Informatics at FAU, Elisabeth?
Theoretically, yes, but the bachelor degree program Computer Science Informatik is completely taught in German, and so you must have sufficient German language skills for enrolling in the program, and you have to find an employer for your Ausbildung.
Okay. And Christine, for you, English taught AI program, is it possible to study it completely in English? And does FAU offer language classes?
So normally you can study the program in English. Sometimes it will be taught in German, but then the lecture notes are in English. Or you have some tutors classes who can assist with all these. To complete without German, or I'm not really in that. I thought that it's realistic to complete the entire program without German proficiency. And does offer.
I mean, it's offered in English. It will be possible. I'm
So
pretty sure of that. Otherwise, we would not dedicate it as an.
Yes. And does offer FAU offer international German courses? Yes. There is a course before the study starts, which is where you have to pay some for the course, or you go during the lecture times. Then you will have twice a week, 2 hours in the evening. You can learn German.
What language certificates does FAU accept? I mean, we're generally accepting this. It's more or less the same for all programs, right? Elisabeth, probably for you.
There's a website about this. I try to find.
There are only a few German certificates we accept, and you will find further information on the website. And for the English certificates required for English taught programs, it depends on the degree program you want to apply for, and you will also find information on the website of the desired degree program.
Okay. I could take someone the question because I'm running low on battery and I need to plug in my laptop.
Is there a student community or platform where I can connect with current students to learn more about their experience studying at FAU?
Well, then the answer is
We offer
probably.
Instagram. We offer an Instagram account for international students. I think so.
There's also a subreddit FAU on Reddit, which you can try. Depending on your program, you might find an answer there. And of course, there's also we have the student unions here. It's called FSE, FSV, and you can always ask them. I mean, of course they're doing that voluntarily, but so they might find time to answer you. Okay, are there any academic support service for international students, such as tutoring or study groups? I mean, study groups, you can just form them yourselves among your peers. That is basically also accepted in a lot of science and engineering programs, yeah, that you do your homework together, etc., that you support each other. There is not really, I'm not aware of a special tutoring for international students. There are free language classes, as mentioned, but I think there's no special tutoring. I mean, this would be up to the subject, and well, we are a tax-financed university that does not charge tuition fees. This is just a question of capacities.
We offer a buddy program, so you can register for a buddy if you like. So that would be a person for you, you can ask all questions, and maybe they can go with you somewhere. When you Google on the website, the buddy program, you can find.
Yeah. Which student colleague does FAU cooperate with? Elisabeth,
the student colleague for all Bavarian University is a student colleague in München. And it's very important if you apply for a student colleague that you apply for a student colleague for universities and not for a student colleague for universities of applied science.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for that. Then here we have I can't read Cyrillic. I'm sorry. I'm going to translate that and answer it in a second. Well, of course, it would also have been nice to just answer the question to just ask the question in a language that everyone in the room speaks. We continue with another question in the meantime. It's another Studienkolleg question. If a student applies directly after secondary school, they must attend a Studienkolleg. As I understand it, German language courses, including professional academic vocabulary, are part of the curriculum. Does it mean that a B2 C1 level of German is required to successfully complete Studienkolleg? In that case, what is the purpose of English taught bachelor's programs?
Even if you want to apply for a bachelor degree program taught in English, you must visit the Studienkolleg in Munich. And the language of instruction there is German. That means you need already German language proficiency on B2 level in order to get admission for Studienkolleg, even if you want to study in English afterwards. And if you have passed the Feststellungsprüfung at Studienkolleg, you will have German language proficiency on level C2, C1. It's very high German level.
Okay. And I think in that case, what is the purpose of English taught bachelor's program? It's very nice that people here are asking so much about the motivations of our university. That gives me the spirit that you are really deep thinkers and critical thinkers. On the one hand side, they're just German students who'd like to study in English. On the other side, these regulations differ from country to country. So it might also be that students do not need to go to the Studienkolleg beforehand. So, for example, depending on if you have an international baccalaureate or if you have, I don't know, if you graduate with A levels from the UK or certain combinations from the US, you can just study here without going to the Studienkolleg. In the meantime, I translated the question that was written in Cyrillic. It was about our data science master and that there is that there are application subjects in it, which was considered interdisciplinary in nature. And I would and whether a transfer to FAU is possible, and I would say it's highly possible. Also, the recognition of classes is possible, especially as data science is such an, let's say, very flexible program that gives students a lot of choice, which areas they would like to specialize in. I would say the chances of recognition are generally high, but of course it depends on the course content and everything. So I cannot make a general statement here, but just because there is an application area, this is something you probably would have to need some kind of application in it if you want to have it all recognized, or you just do the application here and get the rest recognized. So it depends very much on the content of the specific modules, as said, to get things recognized here. The modules you want to have recognized, or the classes you want to have recognized, need to provide the same skill set as our classes here would have done, and then this is possible. Okay. Whom can I contact when I have problems with Campo? I've edited information there, but nothing changes in the application form. Is there a support service for Campo? There is a... Elisabeth, you know it better than me.
You can email at campo@fau.de. This is the central email address for Campo Portal.
Exactly. There's the support service, and you can also, if, for example, you can also, depending on the kind of question or the kind of problem with Campo, maybe also just write to the admissions office. For example, the master office, which can also be helpful. But first address should be the Campo support, campo@fau.de. As FAU offers many interdisciplinary courses across faculties, for example, within the Cluster of Excellence Engineering of Advanced Material, I would like to ask, do students choose which modules to study, or is the study program predetermined? Is it possible to combine courses from different campuses, as between Erlangen-Tech and Nürnberg Humanities? Nürnberg does not really humanities, it's more economics and social sciences, but it depends very much on your program, and almost all programs have kind of have either mandatory electives or electives. So where you are free to choose the courses you are interested in. So if it's electives or let's say key skills, you can also go way beyond your actual subjects. So for mandatory electives, you're probably a little bit more restricted and can choose from a certain range of courses, modules from different faculties, but also from different faculties. This really depends on your program. Usually a certain amount of credits is reserved for electives and mandatory electives, which gives students a lot of choice. And then whether, for example, a humanities class can be counted towards your credit count in an engineering class, that depends very much on the program. But it's definitely possible. For example, in our physics program, we regularly have students that take a class in, let's say, the philosophy of sciences, or let's say gender aspects in sciences, or for example, they have recently we offered a course on the history of nuclear research, which are definitely humanities topics and taught at the Faculty of Humanities, and they could also be recognized within the physics program. So, which engineering programs are most popular among FAU students? International students, I guess it's more or less the same.
I think
AI and informatics is probably very popular.
Yeah, electromobility, ACES is very popular, and also artificial intelligence, and also this information and communication technology. These things are very, very popular.
And Germany being a country of mechanical engineering, I guess that's also something that attracts a lot of international students. Now, that's a question that probably Paulina could answer if she would be with us today. Our colleague is unfortunately sick and can't join us today. To open a bank account, register for health insurance, receive a student transport pass, an official address is usually required. If the student is staying in a shared apartment or temporarily with acquaintances, is a simple rental agreement sufficient? For some things it is. To my knowledge, you can now also open bank accounts without a registered address. It just depends on the bank. Or is a special document, the Wohnungsgeberbestätigung, required? The Wohnungsgeberbestätigung is usually only required for the registration with the municipality, but then you might need the registration with the municipality for example, for opening a bank account. For registering your health insurance or receiving your student transport pass, you just need an address. It does not have to be registered on you. They just need to know where to send it, or where to send the bill. So that differs a bit from course to course, let's say. I'm pretty surprised. Usually they cut us off after an hour here in this format. That's why I was very, very much hurrying earlier, but it seems we got time. That's cool. Okay, what are the chances for Ukrainian students to find a job in Germany after completing an engineering degree? Even if I'm not an engineer, we're in desperate need of engineers. So especially if you learn German as well, your chances will be very, very, very good. And even if your German is just on an intermediate level, or if you're just a beginner in German, there's definitely a high need for engineers in this country. Yes, I guess this is fair to say. So, and going through the questions, I have the feeling that we might not have answered each and every question, but at least we tried, and I think we covered all fields and hinted to where you might find further information. Of course, you can also always reach out to us. I hope that if you found our contact address in the in the chat, And apart from that, if for general questions, I guess you can always contact our central study and advice center. Elisabeth, if you might repeat your email address once more, or just put it in the chat once more for remaining open questions, I guess this would be great. So perfect. ZSB@FAU.de. And yeah, thanks for staying with us. I mean, there were like 17 until recently, 16 people staying with us until the end. I think that we can say that the international students we know generally have a positive study experience here at FAU, and that we would be with that also, especially our experience with the Ukrainian students are very, very positive, at least I can say that for my faculty, and we would be more than happy if you joined FAU, if you would come to Erlangen and started or continued your academic journey with us. Yeah, feel free to apply. We're looking forward to applications, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are at the moment, and all the best to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Також приєднуюся до побажання нашої команди. So thank you team for answering all of the questions, or mostly of them. I think that left questions will be right down to you through the email. So once again, thank you.